Hey, it's me. And that was the Patterson Film. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Patterson Film. Particularly hair. The hair on the head. And I'll kind of explain what my conclusions are about it. And I'll show you why. Let's turn this thing around. There we go. This is a drawing that I did. It kind of shows you or illustrates that there is I call it a top knot. It descends from the top of the head. It's in a round bundle and comes down the back between the shoulders. And then you have some side hair. Not all that hair is involved in that. And there's hold on, I'm going to get something else. Let me see if I have a pen. There's one. It's trying to focus on my finger. Right here is a side strand that blows from down here up over the ear. There's a strong wind at her back, about 8 or 9 miles an hour. And it ends up over the ear, exposing the ear. And there's a little braid, what I consider to be a braid, on the end of it. And it ends up resting on the cheek while this frame was being taken. Here's frame 017, and you can see there's your braid right here. There's your ear. Formerly, before the wind picked it up, it was over the ear, or covering most of the ear. And I can show you that in a raw form. Hold on. Let me just... Uh-oh, wrong one. I've changed computers, so I got to get used to it. Okay, E-drive. Okay. All right. This is a few items here. Now this would be that arrangement that I told you about, where it's bundled, but there's still hair on the side. It's covering up the ear right here. And there's the raw footage, and this is filtered. But you can see it in the raw. It's good enough. Another one showing the filtered image. And then you can see that this is indeed not attached to the back. See it kick up right there. Okay. Now, this is that strand. Let me see if I can get this a little A little bigger. I don't see zoom here. There it is. Zoom in. Let's see. 250. There. That's that strand right there. See it swinging? Oscillate the file so you can swing. It swings back and forth. And that's the little braid right there that ends up on the cheek. Right there. I'm going to back off just a little bit. See it swing? It swings, goes back over the ear. This was laying over the ear and falling down to the shoulder on the side. It's not a part of this coming down off the top of her head to her back. And it ends up, the wind takes it and she turns back into the wind to look at the camera, and it ends up on her cheek. Let's see. Top knot side hair blow. You can see that the wind is blowing her hair pretty good right here in this filtered image. The side hair, see it blowing? Pretty stiff wind. Which that tells me if the general rule, if you have a good nose, you go into the wind so that anything in front of you and ahead of you the smell would come to you. And that's not the case here. The wind's at her back. So she probably does not have any better smell than you or I. Something along the lines of normal human type sensitivity. Okay. When it comes to, let's look at this one, crest movement. Take a look up here and you'll see that the very top of the head moves. It's not bone, it's not skull there. It's a mass of hair that is in an arrangement. You can see that the ear right there. And there's that braid right there. See, it's kind of shaking. See it right there, the braid. There's the ear right there. And you can see that moving up and down with her step and the wind. Yeah, so let's go back to this. So this is my assessment in this drawing right here, that this is a small braid. I think I have another folder with just that on it. Let me see here. This would be the braid walk. I kind of follow it all right here on this particular animation. What does tiny braid work like this? Intricate braid work. Watch her. Look at, there's your braid, and there's your ear. The mouth opens. You see a herringbone pattern. And there's a little clasp there that appears to be made of a bone, maybe some kind of a distal bone. We'll let it go back to that again. There it is right there's the clasp right there. It's a little small bone, it looks like, that's holding that braid. Some kind of way it's become a fastener. Bruce Bonney said that the original footage you could resolve to the point of identification something as small as a grape or a marble. And that clasp fits into that category. It's not optical experts who were negative about this film, it was Bigfooters. There's the clasp. I'm going to go to that. Let's see, copy. We'll see if I can put that in my animator and freeze that frame. Oh, but only did one frame. Okay, hold on. I'll have to find that one. Braid walk complete. Let me get it. Braid walk complete. Open. No. Here we go. Now I'll find that particular one. It's a lot of images. That's the raw footage. That's in GIF form. GIF is, you lose some quality when you convert it back to GIF for the animation, unfortunately. But I have it in high quality. Okay. That's your clasp right there. Let me get that. Let's see if I have that on another hard drive. The use of bones by Bigfoot was first mentioned. The first place I come across it was the case of Muchalot Harry. Let me turn it around. We'll talk about it just a minute. Muchalot Harry was an Indian guide up in Canada who was kidnapped much the same way Albert Osman was. And when they put him down, he wasn't in a sleeping bag, he was just in his long johns. And he said he thought he was dead because he looked all around the camp there where the Bigfoot were staying, and it was bones everywhere. And they reached and got his long johns, which were red, and they were pulling on them, confused because they thought it was his skin. And they stretched them out and popped them and let them go. Everybody got a little touch, a little pull on him. They lost interest in him and left. And he escaped, but he thought that he was dead because there were bones all around. Let's see here. This is the braid. Coming right off here, going over to the cheek. That's the cheek. Shiny part is the under the eye, the cheek. This is the little bone right here. You can see that it's a bone. It's got a dog bone shape. So small, and I call it distal because it looks like a finger bone. But it's over this braid, and it has some kind of attachment to something that can hold that braid. Because from here back this way, it's not a braid, it's just a strand of hair. It's only a braid from this bone or whatever it is down. It's a herringbone pattern. In other words, it's a two-strand braid, which they can tell you a lot if you want it to. If you don't want it to, you could. Oh no, you could be this, could be that. You can't be seeing anything that small, which is preposterous. Okay, go back this way. That's all that's in that folder. Should be 2 folders there. There you go, braid in here. Okay, let's just see. The braid is enhanced. See how it goes from right to left, and this one on the other side, left to right. It creates this chevron, which is a herringbone pattern that's typical of a 2-strand braid. I drew the herringbone pattern in here. There's your clasp. 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 I mean, you can see that it's the shape of a bone anyway. Now let's move along. This is just a progression. This is the raw data right here. See the ear right there? The ear is visible in the raw data. When I first became familiar with this film, people were saying it doesn't show an ear. But it most certainly does. And the people handling the film said nothing. And they surely must have known it. You got to defend this film. There it is. There's your clasp. So they can work with tools. They have dexterity enough to know and understand how to do a small braid. At least this one. At least this particular individual. Raw, that's raw. You still see it in the raw data, the ear and the braid. All right. Okay. That's it. I did a little write-up right here. And I never even ever made public with it. I should have. You get tired of fighting all the time. You know, the people who will fight you tooth and nail over this are Bigfooters, not the world. The world might just laugh at it. Usually you find out that most of the Bigfooters who raise Cain about it are graduates of Humboldt State in Northern California who had the only forestry program in Northern California. Those people raise Cain because they have a lot to lose if there is one, if there is Bigfoot in general in that area. They have a lot of graduates, and the Bigfoot world is there's plenty of them in the Bigfoot community. All right, is that it? No, there's some more. I had a little write-up about it, and one day I might publish it. Could add a lot to that now. Use braid walk. See if that'll run.
K. Davis, the Patterson Film clip. This would be concerning what appears to be a braid or a dreadlock. That would be over the right ear and across down to the cheek.
Braid, look, I added braid dreadlock in there, but it's not a dreadlock because it's got a herringbone pattern. It's not something that the wind blew and made into a dreadlock. It was something that was weaved. All right. And that's it for the hair this morning. Hair on the Patterson film. Hair on the Patterson subject. Which it should surprise no one. No one has more hair than Bigfoot. And they apparently know what to do with it. At least one. With the presumption that all other individuals probably know as well. I know that Native Americans, and I was told this, that said that they use pine tar in their hair. So it tends to want to hold it down, or at least some of them do. And I've had people say that there was one man who was a bear guide, and he came upon a group. He saw them in the distance, and he put his scope of his rifle on them so he could see better. And he said it was a group of them, and some were completely covered in hair, and others were not. So some had a lot less hair than others. The Patterson subject is the body hair itself is rather patchy, and in some places you might consider to be light. But there are others who have a full coverage of 3 to 4 inch hair all over the body. For instance, the Paul Freeman footage. Patty's, you can see skin everywhere. There may be reasons for that. We get into it at another time, but this is about hair and the head hair and what's in that film. And a conclusion you should be able to draw one when you think about what it takes to do what you see. Anyways, I thank you for your time. See ya.